I feel more single being here, and as a black person I don't have the, unfortunately, confidence to be like, oh yeah, let me just go up to that guy, because the language barrier. And in Korea it's very obvious that like white is the standard, white is like preferred, like a lighter shade. And if a white girl and a black girl were like standing next to each other, I feel like 9 times out of 10 they would choose the white girl, because it's kind of what they've been shown as popular and mainstream and attractive.
Hi my dears, welcome back to my channel. You're most welcome to today's video. We are reacting to TikTok clips about what it's like to date as a black woman in East Asia, and the countries include China, Korea and Japan. So these are real stories from black women living in these countries and sharing their dating experiences there. So we are going to watch these clips together, learn something from them, understand, relate, and then we shall react. So don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments, and without wasting much time, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and let's get started. I'll catch up with you after these clips are played.
To be honest, I never ever date a Korean guy. It will be possible, but for me, I'm a tall girl, black. The first thing I noticed when I said I tried to, is like flirting with a guy, or else I really felt the difference between being a foreigner girl as a black person and also the Korean girls. They like separate the both, and I was so shocked because I thought about the fact that since when doesn't matter like where you come from or your skin color. It should be only like the personality, or if you feel attracted to that person. But I was like, I'm black, I'm really tall, and I do speak Korean, so I was like trying the both way. Okay, let's see if what's the problem. So first, if I talk with a guy, I can feel like really okay to speak in Korean, okay to speak in English. But then when I saw that some of the guys that I wanted were like not really into it, I really felt directly what was the problem, only my skin color and where I came from.
Things nobody talks about when you're a black girl dating a Korean man. People will always ask you if you're dating someone, if you're in a relationship. The next question when you say yes is, where is he from? Is he Korean? And then obviously when you say yes, he's Korean, their reaction is always so crazy. They're like, really? How did you get me? I don't know, it's almost like it's impossible for a black person to date a Korean man. I don't know why they always react like that. Next one is the stares, obviously. When I'm walking alone by myself, I get a lot of stares. So imagine I'm walking, holding hands with a Korean. My boyfriend is so careless. He wouldn't even notice that people are staring, but I see it. I feel the stares. Like, look somewhere else. There's a lot of things to see. I don't know, why are you staring into my soul? Last but not least, when we go to restaurants together to eat or anywhere together, I do speak Korean. So sometimes I want to speak for myself. But the people, the waiters or the people working there, they never look at me. They're always talking to him because obviously a foreigner cannot speak Korean. And even when I speak Korean myself, they don't answer to me. They're talking to him, answering to him, even when I'm the one asking the question. Those little things kind of piss me off, and anyways, bye guys.
I was bored recently, so I decided to give dating in China a chance. Most other people had warned me about, I'm putting my phone like this because somebody is looking at me through the other window. In a remote village in China, we are seeing mountains, we are doing some sightseeing. Anyways, I don't want to lift my camera up because anyways, so I decided to give dating a chance. And let me tell you something, people do not know English. Do not assume that somebody knows English just because they are texting you in English. You're going to go in person and the person cannot speak English. People do not know English. Number 2, Chinese people just want to hit half of them. Do you see those people that you see as beautiful Chinese couples, black and Chinese? Girl, I don't know where those people find the Chinese men, because this is just my personal experience. Most of the people just want to hit. And isn't that common for all races anyways? Number 2, most of the people want to just experience different cuisines, if you know what I mean. If you just want to get laid, this is a place for you. Like, you cannot fail to get laid if you're a girl. You'll always find somebody to lay you. Anyways, number 3, avoid white men in China act like they're the prize, even if they're not acting like the prize, because I heard what one was actually not acting like the prize, but he was German, if you know what I mean. So most of the white men here are going to act like the prize, because even a white man is seen as a god here in China. Asian girls worship white men. And another thing, people from your home country, avoid them more so if they haven't yet seen you. If you have low confidence, avoid people from your own country, because most of them are going to just treat you anyhowly. Few of them are actually going to give you value unless you first show them that you're the shit. What other thing? I don't really know much, but that's basically it.
How's dating life in China as a black girl? Now I'll talk about my own experience, so please do not come at me. Now you gotta know that I do speak, read, write Chinese, okay? And when I mean that, I mean fluent Chinese, which means I do understand a lot about the Chinese culture, beliefs. So from the beginning, I already know that I do not fit the Chinese beauty standards. I always feel like I'm trying to force myself to where I don't belong to. It feels like I'm trying to make somebody accept me. I've tried, and I met that guy. He was really quite good. He was good. He was nice to me, and he was like, I like you. And I was like, well, good. I mean, a green flag is a green flag. And some boy is a handsome boy. It doesn't really matter whether he's Chinese, white, black, whatever is going around. But he was like, I'm going to hide it from my family because I can't just tell them that I'm dating a black girl. My mom wouldn't accept that. My dad wouldn't take it. We were not even dating yet. But it feels like I closed my mind after that. I feel like I'm a little bit too good enough to try to force somebody or trying to get myself to fit somewhere that I don't. Now, I know a lot of black sisters are married to Chinese men and all that. I wish them the best. I'm not just strong enough for that.
Okay, so as someone who's actually dating a Korean person, like actually in a long-term stable relationship with a Korean person, I feel like you guys just don't understand, like there's so many cultural nuances that come into dating a Korean person. And I'm gonna be more specific. Conflict resolution, baby, that's on you. I'm telling you right now. In our culture in America, right, people are like, the men's supposed to come and apologize first. And I'm not saying that the Korean men don't apologize, they do. But in Korean culture, they're not taught conflict resolution. And no shade, but like it's like, oh, you're angry at me for doing what I wanted to do. You're angry at me. How dare you be angry at me? Or you're speaking up about this, because you got to keep in mind, this is a Confucius society. Like, it was heavily influenced by Confucianism, which is like the son follows the father, the wife follows the father, and the wife follows the son. So the women are kind of on the bottom of the totem pole. So I just kind of want to re-record that for you guys, okay? Yeah, it's just basically like the men have all this power. There's a lot of misogynistic traits, and a huge part of Confucianism truly like is keeping quiet when things are happening to you. You're basically taught like, oh, you got a problem with what's happening? You should just shut up. It's pretty much how Korean culture is, and this rolls into dating, because I'm not saying your partner's gonna be like that. If they are, leave them. But I'm just saying, like, these kids are told that from a very young age. So you're dating a Korean woman or Korean man whose problem solving skills is either silent treatment, match your energy, or times 10 just have this petty tit for tat war, or, well, talking about it is really not an option. It hasn't been an option. It's just kind of like, I still love you, here's some fruit, forgive me. But talking about it is not really an option, and it's not been an option enforced in their childhood. So you gotta kind of have to keep that in mind. So like, a lot of people are always telling you like, oh, I want to date a Korean guy, I want to date a Korean guy. Well, I'm telling you, the reality is like, a lot of the times you're gonna have to initiate what's bothering you. You have to talk about it, and it's uncomfortable, and you have to sit there and be like, hey, I know you're used to this, but I need you to tell me what's wrong, because sometimes I'm not trying to rely on nunchi, and that's a huge reality of dating a Korean person. I feel like people are not like getting that part. They just think it's like, oh, Korean guy, he carries my heavy stuff, it's so fun. Like, no, there's like some psychological things that Korean people go through, and like Asian society has been enforced through Confucianism and other beliefs that have just really trapped them and made them emotionally stunted. And that's why you'll see a lot of like ajishis ready to fight over the littlest things. Like, that is why you'll see the anger from the older men ready to go at any point in time if they feel slightly disrespected for the sake of their ego. Like, that's a reason why. And I feel like a lot of people are like not crediting that. A lot of people are saying, oh, you know, Korean men are just crazy. Like, no, they're actually like, there's no excuse for what their behavior is, but a lot of it's a genuine like passed down generational trauma, and I feel like we don't talk about that part. So yeah.
Man, I I feel like it's not that hard to say, hey, I'm just not feeling this.
Have you been to Japan before?
An American.
They don't say nothing. They just ghost you. Like literally someone will go out, eat with you, like laugh, kiki, and then you go bang, 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 bang. And then like you text them the next day morning, boom, you're blocked. I swear.
Wow. I need time to process that. Like, what do I think about it?
Yeah. Like what advice would you have for me like going into dates like that where like they're majority of men, mostly Japanese men, ghosting us or like just using us for like, you know, doing the do.
Right, right. I would definitely say to never take things personally. If you were to experience getting blocked, it's not personal. It's not you. You know, like it's just how it
You've been here for 9 years. Have you ever dated a Japanese person?
No.
No. Why is that?
Japanese guys, can you tell me the answer to the question? Really? I have no idea. I don't know. I think, to be honest, nobody talks to me. Nobody ever... No, they never talk to me. They never try to invite me out. There's another reason. That's from my side. I think when I first moved to Japan, I lived in the countryside. And I come from a very proud culture, you know, where all types of people are beautiful, where black is beautiful, your body type doesn't matter, that kind of stuff. And when I moved to Japan, I noticed people were very obsessed with everything that was white or Caucasian. Like people were bleaching their skin, whitening their skin for the posters. During summertime, everybody covered their skin. And all the men were very, very like weirdly obsessed with white women, Caucasian women, especially women with blonde hair. And my first couple of months here, I was watching it and I was like, what is this? At that time, I said, whoa, this is weird. This is very different. Now I don't care. But I think back then I was like, you know what? This is the society. They're really in love with white women. So I just kind of shut off my mind from Japanese men. And then I think it never really changed over the years.
So I've been living in Tokyo for about 6 months now, and I want to give you guys the down low about dating as a black woman. So somebody recently told me something that baffled me. They said that a lot of times Japanese men don't approach black women because they think that we want sex. Like they have this thing amongst them saying that, you know, the darker her skin, the more she wants sex. So let's say that you're out with your girls and all the light skinned ones and all the white ones are like, ooh, I want to fuck somebody tonight. Now, if you're there saying that you don't want to, Japanese men are going to automatically think that you want to have sex. They're not going to come approach you. They're not going to want to ask you out. They're not going to want to give you their number or get your line or whatever because they're like, no, she's black. She wants to have sex. How does skin color equal how bad I want it? You know what I mean? But that's how they be thinking. I'm not saying all, but some.
Can you rate your life in Japan from 1 to 10?
8. I come from California, which is like so great. It's great here too, but it's very safe. So it gets a lot of points for safety. I have a lot of peace here. You get a lot of points for peace. The points what gets deducted is dating. I'll be single. I'll probably die single here, but that's fine. I have a cat. I'm okay. If you're coming here as a black woman, you want to date, it's not happening. And the other point gets deducted from convenience. Like people think it's so futuristic and these trains and these toilets, but like really we're hanging our clothes outside. The houses are made of paper, there's no insulation, there's no garbage disposal. I have to take the bottle cap off of the bottle and recycle everything separately. Like it's very inconvenient to live. It's like camping, glamping. I'll give it glamping. And a lot of us didn't even know that. We thought we were going to be flying over here, you know, like it didn't happen.
That's offensive. But I'm here to say that's offensive. But you were. That's offensive.
So those two things, I had to deduct points, but other than that, I love it.
Dating in Japan is crazy because you have Japanese men who will say and do things to you as a foreign woman that you know they 100% would never even consider doing to a Japanese woman. It isn't anything new. There's a lot of foreign women like myself who experience this with dating Japanese men. Now, obviously, it's not all Japanese men, but there are some Japanese guys out there who just don't take foreign women seriously. They'll go on a few dates with you, probably with the hopes of sleeping with you. They'll maybe date you for a little bit, but as far as like serious talk, like marriage and having kids, bringing you home to their families, a lot of them won't even consider doing that. But you best believe when it comes to asking foreign women to have sex and things like that, like I've straight up had Japanese men send me messages Not with even a hello, how are you? My name is, just straight up asking me if I want to give them a blowjob. And the reason why a lot of Japanese men view foreign women as like playthings is because for some reason, foreign women in Japan have a reputation of being easy. And by easy, I mean easy to sleep with. And the reason why I know that Japanese men talk crazy to foreign women but would never speak that way to Japanese women is because I've asked my Japanese friends, what the fuck's going on with your men? Like, why are they asking me for blowjobs and all this like weird sexual stuff when I've never even met them? And my friends are like, I've never had guys say those things to me or speak to me in that way. So yeah, these are the things that foreign women have to go through when dating in Japan. Of course, it's not all Japanese men that are like that, but a lot of them I've found to be, just thinking that foreign women are easy.
One of the things that shocked me dating in Japan as an African woman is the fact that people here, and probably in many other developed countries, think that you use condoms only to prevent pregnancy. They'll straight up ask you if you're on your pills, and if you say yes, they're like, yeah, it's okay then. I grew up in a place where we have songs, big artists doing advertisement for condoms and constantly reminding you to use your vuvuzela when you want to do the waka waka. Not only to prevent pregnancy, but also against all the STDs. So I will never understand how Africa is looked at that area or that place of the world where there is HIV, especially when you go abroad and start dating. And these people don't even use condoms. And I'm supposed to be the African carrying diseases in all of this? Bruh. And I got really suspicious as of how many people are walking around Japan carrying STDs, HIV. This is for my girls. If you come to Japan and start dating, whether it's local or foreigners, look out for yourself. Look out for yourself.
What makes dating tough here for Western women?
It's, wow. I've been here how long? And I am still single and probably will remain that way for all of eternity. I literally had to talk to my mom. She's like, so what are we doing? What's happening? Am I getting grandkids? I'm like, probably not, but I'm happy.
I see a lot fewer Western women living here long-term like us. And in my opinion, one of the big issues is dating and falling in love, getting married in Japan. What's your experience been?
Please cut to a clip of me crying. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's a struggle for most women coming here. It's just like even the way that they date is so different from Western society. And
what's different?
One of my friends went on a date, and by the second date, she did not know that he was like, yeah, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. She had no idea. She was like, what are you talking about? We just went on a date. And he's like, no, you're my girlfriend. Like, that's what we're doing here.
They want to commit earlier.
I think it definitely depends on the type of Western woman. Like for me, as an African American woman, I can't think of any other demographic other than a Japanese man that is more different. Like we are very, very different. The build is also not my type. Usually I think I like a man to be bigger than me, and most of the men are not bigger than me. Yeah, a little bit more assertive and a little bit more muscle.
Finding a partner or finding someone to date in Japan should be listed as an Olympic sport, or rather we should start extreme sports, and dating in Japan should be one of those. Yesterday I was talking about how ladies of like really Afrocentric features, having really huge assets, it might be an issue sometimes for you to find someone to date. So today I'm going to be telling you my second point on why I think it's difficult to date in Japan. My name is Bacon and I'm based in Japan. I've been here for 6 years and I'm just going to be giving you my own thoughts about dating in Japan. Now, the second point about dating in Japan is you will most likely find that there are some people who want to score brownie points of being cool by hanging out with foreigners. Those people in Japan are called gaijin hunters. So it's a certain group of individuals who just go for foreigners. And gaijin hunters actually, most of the time they're looking for a free English class. They do not want to pay the expensive fees to go for private lessons, and then they think, you know what, let me date Bacon. At least I can learn my English whilst I'm dating her. You might think, oh, it's okay, it doesn't really matter. But the relationships are never fulfilling because for them it's transactional. They just want to learn English. And it's also a status thing, walking around showing the other friends, oh, I've got foreigners, I've got a foreign girlfriend. And at the end of the day, 90% of the times, it never leads to anything solid. They do it, and then when that excitement of being with a foreigner wears off, they dump you, and then they go back to their Japanese counterparts. That's the other thing which is so difficult about dating in Japan. You don't know if someone just needs an English lesson or they're a gaijin hunter, they just hunt for foreigners. You never know. That's the other thing. You can never know if someone really, truly likes you in Japan. That's one of the points which I feel it's a little bit lighthearted. It's not so, but it's something to consider when you come here.
Have you ever wondered why you rarely see South Asian and black marriages? Let me give you a little story time of what happened to me a few years ago. So I was doing my master's at the time, and I met this guy on Plenty of Fish. And at the time, I've never dated an Asian guy before. It's literally just been black people. And he was really charming over the messages. Literally, we got off the app very quickly. We met on the first date. I was just taken aback. He was very successful. I was successful too, considering what I was doing my master's in. But he was like super successful for our age. We were both 24 at the time, I think. And he was driving a Porsche. His dad was like one of the managing directors for a major bank in the UK. They lived in this massive mansion in Wimbledon. It was every girl's kind of dream to find a guy who was sweet, loving, affectionate, all this stuff. And on the first date, he said to me, he told me this really sad romantic tale about his mum and his dad, and how his mum was from an upper caste, and his dad was a lower caste, based on like in India, they have this caste system where if you're dark skinned, you're kind of lower down the line in society, and if you're light skinned, you're upper up. So his mum was like a light skinned background, and the dad was dark skinned. But they both met at one of the red brick universities in London, and they were both studying physics. So when the mum fell in love with the dad proposed, and the mum's family, this is back in the 90s, the mum's family said no, that if you marry this guy, we're going to disown you. And she fell in love with, the boy's dad. Let's call him Ahmed. His name's not Ahmed, but I don't want to put his details out here. So Ahmed's dad proposed to Ahmed's mum, and the family disowned her, basically. Anyways, cut long story short, he obviously became super successful in his field in banking. She was a stay-at-home mum. They had several kids. But it just never worked out. But they're still happily married after many, many years, and have built this beautiful life together. So when he told me that kind of warmed my heart, like, oh, bless. So, he's a product of romantic tragedy. So that means it's not so bad that we are dating. Because I always know that I rarely ever see Asian, South Asian and black marriages. Keep in mind that point of that story he told me on the first date. So now we've got really serious, and I think we're 5 months in now. So I'm like, it'll be nice to meet your siblings, to kind of know, your family a bit. And then he just got really cold and said, no, you can never meet my family because they'll disown me. And I was like, how will they disown you? You've already told me on the first day. I remember you told me the story of your mum and your dad and how they disowned your mum and how your mum and dad still survived. And he was like, yeah, but even till today, they're family members that have never spoken to them. There's a whole side of his mum's family that just don't know them. And they're still like frowned upon in society and stuff. So there's certain weddings they still don't get invited to. So literally that stigma of what happened when his mum and his dad got married, is still following him, like 24 years later. So then I thought to myself, but why, if you knew all of this, why did you pursue me? Why did you date me? Like, why? What's the point? If you knew that it wasn't going to go anywhere and nothing could come from it, because you already know, like, I've already said, I want to be married and stuff like that. This was when I was dumb, before I knew my own advice now. But I told you all of that, and you were just, on it. He paid for all the dates, paid for everything. We used to have great times in the summer. It was just such a wonderful love affair. We didn't have sex though, but we did stuff and stuff. But it was just so why, at what point did you, And then it just got me thinking, it doesn't matter what a man says or what a man does. You really just, much of this stuff is luck, because some men will tell you one thing but still do another and have exactly, you know, what they're going to do in the back of their chest. So the take-home message for this is this: until you get the ring, all bets are off. That's why I've written this book, Single to Engage in 1 year. Because until you get the ring, sis, until he's put the ring on your hand and says, will you marry me, anything can happen. What you think you know, you may not know. What you think he said, he may not mean, or may have happened, but you know, he's just said it to you to feed you this lies. All the money he's spending on you on these luxurious dates that you're going on, this flashy Porsche that he's driving, this money that he's spending, this beautiful house that you go into, and you know, the parties he's invited you to, his friends, all this stuff, hanging out with his friends, all this wonderful thing that this generous, nice, handsome, benevolent, kind-hearted man is doing for you, it don't add up to nothing if at the end of it there is no ring in sight. I promise you, all these things that are happening in your life, really evaluate it. Does it look like this man is going to propose anytime soon? We've had the conversation. What was his reaction? Was he in support of marriage? Does he say he's going to give it a timeline when he's going to do it? If he don't put the ring on your hand, it's all dust. Dust. Poof. Breast milk. Poof. Dust. Okay? So heed my warning and learn from my experience from years ago. Luckily, I'm happily married and I'm now pregnant. But I remember younger me. So this book is actually written for younger me with all my life experiences. Be being warned. Sis, don't let another man waste your time. Forget what he says. Men do a lot of this. Don't let this this is the ultimate answer. Not this, not actions. This, okay? I'll see you in the next video, and don't forget to prove.
All right, if you're able to make it this far, thank you so much. And without wasting much time, right there, one of the issues while dating in those East Asian countries, of course, when you're a foreigner in a country that doesn't speak your language, there is always a language problem, especially if most of the people in that country don't speak your language. Like, for example, an American woman traveling to, say, China, Japan, or South Korea. You don't really get to meet people who speak fluent English, maybe in the big cities, and more hard if you're outside the city. So right there, that lady was saying that I think for her, the problem is the language. She has not yet learned the local language there, and communicating with people on a deeper level becomes an issue. You may also find that a Korean or a Chinese or a Japanese person finds it so hard to communicate with you because they cannot speak like English, and of course that makes it hard to date. Yeah, we have another one who has complained about, I would say, the beauty standards. For this lady who is in China, she thinks that she doesn't meet the beauty standards in China just because she's dark, despite her knowing fluent Chinese. Yeah, many East Asian countries have their specific beauty ideals, which include often valuing the lighter skin than the darker skin. That's why you had a lady sharing that if she was put maybe together with a white woman, the white woman would obviously be picked and she would be left behind. It's not like your problem. The problem is what was set there, like people prefer to go with the lighter skin as compared to the darker skin. But there are interracial couples in Asian countries that are really doing well, happily married in those countries. So it's not like it is impossible. It's possible. At least you've seen them and they are doing well. Then we have these black women also sharing that I think most of the people sexualize black women than just normal dating, which is not right because it is not even true. Some of them even want to date the black women just to use them as an experiment. They want to see like what is there, how are black women, but not really for serious relationships. There is another issue still about their perception about foreign women, and in this case, the black women that we are talking about, They see them like they are just visitors there, they are tourists, they are there for a short time, so they just want to have hookups with them, they want to have casual relationships with them. They see them like for short-term relationships and not long-term relationships, which leaves the black women, of course, disappointed. Yeah, then some, of course, think that foreign women are so easy to get than their women. Still, they look at them in that angle of having hookups just with them. There is also another issue from the parents. You may date an Asian man, and then when it reaches the approval of their parents, it may not be so easy. And that's why we have heard these stories of where some women have gotten involved with Asian men. The man seemed serious, then later on, they say, I cannot marry you. Or they say, we cannot have something serious because of my parents. My parents will not approve of it, just because of the culture in Asia, especially when the other partner is of dark skin. Then also the social circles in these countries, whereby many of the dating networks in these countries are highly localized, and the expat communities or the foreigners in these countries often form their small social spaces, and outside them meeting people who are open to interracial dating can be harder. Then also we have the historical and racial attitude, because some of these East Asian countries, they have relatively homogeneous populations and with limited experience with racial diversity, which can of course lead to racism or discomfort with interracial dating. Of course, which may also cause discomfort or preference for what is familiar with them. And there is of course lack of exposure and stereotypes. These countries, most of them have a smaller population of black people, and of course this may limit exposure to black women, which of course unfamiliarity may lead to stereotypes or seeing black women as different rather than potential romantic partners. So the stereotypes in these countries vary. Some of them see black women as aggressive or too independent, and this can clash with the traditional expectations in dating. Yeah, so after hearing from these black women sharing their experiences dating in these countries of China, Japan, and South Korea, the key takeaways here are beauty standards matter a lot, exposure and representation may change how people date. Also, stereotypes travel globally, but they are not facts. Dating culture isn't universal. What is normal in one place may feel strange or limiting in another. And with that, I'll end this video here. And if you found this video interesting, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for staying with me, and let's catch up in the next one.